It was the year of Harlem Shake, You Couldn't Escape Royals by Lorde, Get Lucky by Daft Punk, or Wrecking Ball by Miley Cyrus each time you turned on the radio. Arctic Monkeys dropped their iconic AM album, and we got the 1975's and The Neighborhood's debut albums all back to back. Welcome to 2013. First things first, check out the adorable hoodie that I'm wearing. This is by aelfriceden. Thank you so much for sending it to me. Oh my god, 2013. This year was basically the catalyst to what 2014 was going to become and what we know nowadays as indies list or grunge fashion. While it definitely existed before 2013 and 2014, I think nothing can compare to the level where it was taken to that year. It being mixed with, I guess, the start of social media as we know it marked such an important part of culture. Nothing compares to what being a teenager during those years felt like. Mind you, I was literally 12 during 2013, but that's besides the point. Now, when discussing fashion trends, this is what you came here for. We were basically moving on from 2011 and 2012. This year's basically consisted of a lot of colors, the iconic peace sign, which gained a lot of popularity during 2010, and awkward preteens trying to transition from justice and limited to clothing. The first thing that started to become super popular in 2013 were high-waisted jeans. People used to wear high-waisted everything, so shorts, skater skirts. Mind you, we had just moved past the 2000s, and if you guys remember, it was kind of very similar to what we're wearing at the moment. Jeans used to be super low-waisted. High-waisted jeans were really nowhere to be found before these years. It was really hard to get your hands on them. Something else that was everywhere in 2013 were peplum tops. This is a fashion item that I don't necessarily adore. I don't really want it to come back, but it's obviously gonna come back eventually because everything is a cycle. You will catch them on red carpets, streetwear, and basically everywhere. People used to pair that up with high-waisted shorts. It was kind of out there. It was very different to what people were wearing the decade before. Something else that was everywhere, you've definitely heard about this. Even if you were a kid back then, you probably remember that galaxy print was everywhere. This is another trend that became popular in 2011, but it was still being worn by 2013. At the beginning of last decade, I think trends definitely lasted longer. This was definitely such an interesting pattern to wear. It was a sign of the times. I don't think it'll ever come back, or if it ever does, it's gonna come back in a sarcastic way. Like, I don't think people will ever wear this with a straight face, in my opinion. It's such a 2013 thing to wear. It's such a thing of the past. Something else that was popular in 2013, this was definitely marking the path for 2014. It was leather and fox leather. While I know leather is low-key a staple and it comes back every year, every winter, it's just something that people are always gonna wear, I do think it was worn way more than average from 2013 to 2015. Pencil skirts, moto jackets, leggings, everything was made out of leather at that point. That definitely transitioned into 2014 and what we know as indies list. Something else that was popular during this year were denim shirts. These were all the rage from, I want to say, 2013 to 2017. I do remember wearing something like this when I was 16 or 17, so it was way past 2013. They were often worn bottom up or tied around the waist. Something else that people used to wear all the time were skater skirts and floral dresses, often in bright colors. When you think about 2011 to 2013, bright colors used to be worn all the time. 2013 was definitely a transition year. People used to wear a lot of colored jeans, like very tight colored jeans, red, blue, green. That definitely transitioned into dresses as well. There were just a lot of colors being worn. Also, these two shades used to be super popular back then. I think by 2013 they were kind of dying out, but the salmon and the mint color and those two mixed together, oh god, I remember I used to go to the mall and everyone was wearing those two colors. It was kind of the norm. I actually saw Jimaguas coming out with clothing like this, which makes me think, oh my god, is it coming back? I personally don't like those shades and I will not be wearing them. Mark my words, I'm not gonna change my mind about that. Something else that was being worn was the Aztec print and the tribal prints as well. I don't know if this was what's the word, controversial, or like people shouldn't have been wearing that, but they were wearing that. And something else that was popular were flannels. Everyone was wearing those. I think that trend definitely started in 2013 and it was worn all the way until I want to say 2015, because I remember Justin Bieber, when he was on his Purpose tour, he used to wear that a lot. Flannels paired up with black skinny jeans and some combat boots. It was peak fashion in 2013, 2014. Now, when it comes to footwear, there were definitely shoes that were super popular at the time. So the first ones were the Creepers. They definitely became popular during 2013. Obviously, they were worn all the way until 2015, but very on brand with the grunge and punk revival at the time. Something else that was worn during that year were the Jeffrey Campbell Litas. These are iconic chunky heel boots. They were also worn a lot during that time. Converse and Vans, they were still dominating casual looks. Those ones were popular during the 2000s. They kind of remained popular until I think the Adidas Superstars took over later on in 2015, 2016. Combat boots, often styled with dresses for a soft grunge look. Combat boots and floral dresses, that used to be everywhere. For hairstyles, we have to remember that the early 2010s were kind of the start of YouTube. People started to post a lot of tutorials. That was kind of everything that was in there at the time. Also keep in mind that the Hunger Games had just released a day before. That was definitely a cultural reset. So braids were all the rage at the time. Any kind of braid you could think of was kind of trending during 2013. The side braid, French braids, I don't know that much about braids, but I know damn well that I was wearing them. Now that I think about it, dystopian movies being so popular during the early 2010s also added fuel to the whole 2014 angsty preteen and teenager personality that a lot of people took part of. Flower crowns, they were popularized by Coachella and Tumblr. Coachella was gaining a lot of popularity at the time as well. This was also the time of the Keep Calm and the Just Girly Things trends on Tumblr. Statement necklaces, super popular as well. They were chunky and bold, especially old necklaces. I think that started in 2011 as well, even though Google says 2013. I know I saw them before, but yeah, old necklaces, everyone was wearing that. Snapbacks and beanies with slogans, they were often worn backwards or with logos. And during the summer as well. I think I remember seeing people wearing beanies during the summer, just for the sake of the trend. Studded backpacks, crossbody bags, chokers, they were being worn in 2013. I don't remember them being as popular during that time, at least not where I used to live. Remember, trends traveled way slower back then. And Polaroids also regained popularity. Polaroids and the Instax camera. Some other songs and albums from the time, we had Radioactive by Imagine Dragons, also playing everywhere. Wake Me Up by Avicii. Born to Die had just been released 1 year before. It kind of set the tone to what 2013 and 2014 were gonna be. Born to Die, I mean, Lana has managed to stay relevant for so many years, but that was definitely a cultural reset. It definitely rewired my 12-year-old brain. Some other important albums released in 2013: Midnight Memories by One Direction, Pure Heroine by Lorde, Bangers by Miley Cyrus. She was so controversial back then, and it kind of seems so tamed to me now in comparison to what society is now, which is crazy. She got a lot of heat 10 years ago, 15 years ago because of what she was doing, and I just feel like she wouldn't get that amount of heat now, which is so sad. I do feel for her. We also got a highly underrated Justin Bieber album, Journals, definitely one of my favorites, and 5 Seconds of Summer were also starting out, so I think they had a couple of singles released by 2013. Some popular stores from back then: Urban Outfitters, Brandy Melville, Forever 21, American Apparel, Topshop. Influencers were also starting out, but they weren't called that back then. Fashion bloggers like Chiara Ferragni were exploding at the time. And yeah, that was 2013. Definitely what a time to be alive. While I don't think it was as iconic as 2014, I still think there would be no 2014 without 2013, because the music that people enjoyed during 2014 was released in 2013. So it was definitely an important year. I'm definitely gonna be doing a video for every other year in the 2010s decade. Definitely bear with me. The 2016 video is gonna come out in January of 2026 to mark the 10-year anniversary of that year. I'm definitely gonna try to do the 2011 and 2012 videos before 2026, so bear with me, I'm gonna complete this series. Anyways, it's gonna be aelfriceden's anniversary in July 15th. They had pieces up to 70% off. They are super cute. I'm gonna show you a couple of things that they sent me. So the first thing that they sent me is this gorgeous hoodie. It also has a star in the back. I've seen this hoodie on Pinterest before, so I was really happy when they offered to send it to me. Super cute for the fall this year, or just like going back to school, going back to college. They also sent me this really cool jorts. I'm obsessed with them. They are backwards, super unique. I'm so excited to wear this as well. I'm obsessed with the design on this, like, oh my god. They also sent me this sweater, which I love. This is distressed. Also gonna be wearing this during the fall. Super cute, super cozy as well, and it's not itchy, because that's super important when discussing sweaters. I hate buying sweaters when they're itchy. They also sent me this other pair of jorts. You all know I've been into jorts as of late. I finally gave in. I bought a pair a couple months ago and I love them. So anyways, they have these beads in here, which I think are super cute, such a special detail. And then they sent me this other hoodie. This is adorable as well. It has two tigers on the front, and then it has this soft texture in here. This is kind of like a velvet texture, which is adorable. And then on the back it says make waves, not rules. Also super cute. And lastly, they sent me these pair of jeans, which are also studded all the way down and backwards as well. These are baggy jeans, super cute. Also definitely gonna be wearing them eventually. So yeah, thank you so much aelfriceden. Definitely make sure to check out their anniversary sale. You can get an extra 25% off with my code Allison25. So anyways, thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in my next one.